we'll look at the difference between joining and grouping curves. We go ahead into the top view here. What we do is we'll draw a shape here, and we'll see how joining versus grouping is different. I'm just going to go ahead and start out with some circles, and I'm going to place this circle at the 10, 10 point, or right here. So I'm just going to type 10, 10, and I'm going to give it a radius of 8 millimeters. I'm going to take this curve and do a polar array, and polar array right here on the transform toolbar. The center of my array will be the 0 point, and let's try 6 and see if that completes it for us. So that completes the circle, and they are all overlapping, which I want them to be, so I'll just go ahead and hit enter to accept that. I'm going to switch to the perspective viewport. I'm going to select all of these, and using the trim command, I'm going to trim away the outside from the inside. Right, so you can see pretty easily we've got this kind of flowery sort of shape. I'm going to make a copy of this. I drag over, and remember I tap Alt to copy, then release. And at this point, these are neither joined nor grouped together. So I'm going to select these ones here and click the puzzle icon and join those together. And if you look at the command line, it tells me that 6 curves have been joined into one closed curve. These ones I'll select by dragging a box, and I'll group them by going to Edit, Groups, and then Group. Or I could do the shortcut, which is Control G. You can see they flickered a little, and that tells you the command has been applied. I can just click on either one of these, and the whole part is selected. They look the same, but they're actually quite different. And the reason for that is by joining these, this has made it a closed polycurve, whereas this is just a group of individual curves that are just joined together. So let's look at an example of what that means. So if I take both of these curves, and we go up to Surface, Extrude Curve, and then Straight, I'll just type 15. And let me go ahead and switch this to shaded mode. As I move around here, you can see they look pretty similar, not a whole lot of difference between them. But the big difference comes when I click on this one. You see that selected the entire poly surface, whereas here if I click, they're all individual pieces. These are individual surfaces because the curve that created them was not joined together. It was just a series of individual curves, so the resulting individual surfaces. And this is important because if I take this object, go to Solid, and then hit Cap Planar Holes, you can see it's capped on the top and on the bottom. And if I take this and go to Solid, Cap Planar Holes, you read the command line is telling me it's unable to cap the objects. The openings did not have any closed planar loops of edges. And that's because none of these are joined together. They are just individual surfaces. Now I can take these surfaces and click on this icon and join them together. And now it treats them as one piece. I can also go up here to Solid, Cap Planar Holes, and it will put a cap on the top and on the bottom. And at this point, these two items are essentially the same thing. Let me go ahead and delete these. And this works another way as well. Let's go ahead and draw a line, attach it to the endpoint here, and let me go over my front view. I'll type a 10, hold down the Shift key, and add that on there. So we're going to make a copy of this and move it over. There's a few different ways to do this. The easiest is probably just to hit Control C to copy this, and then we'll just move the part from this point to this point, and then just do a Control V to paste in the curve in its original location. Now let's look at how differently the join closed curve is treated compared to the grouped curve. So if we take this curve and we go up to Surface, Sweep One Rail, we can select this line as our cross section, and draw the surface in there, and it's all nice and connected. If I apply the command again and click on Select Rail, you can see I can only click this one item because it knows that this curve is not joined to this curve. So my only option at that point is to run that command there. So it's the same command. I can only go this far when it's just grouped, not joined though. I can apply the command again, and I can go around the whole thing that way. These will still be individual, then I could join them together. So you can see having a closed, well-drawn curve as your original curve can very quickly make a huge difference in how you're actually building curves. And that concludes our look at joined versus grouped curves.